Bismillah wa alhamdulillah wa salawat wa salam ala rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa min wala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, dear colleagues, dear participants, dear ISIP members, dear students, practitioners, and scholars of the field of Islamic psychology and beyond. And we're very honored to pleased to have you all with us. Thank you so much for joining us again. As usual, this is the twice a month lectures that we do as ISIP globally. Twice a month, we offer different lectures with some of the leading scholars and practitioners within the field of Islamic psychology and Muslim mental health, trying to reflect upon different topics and themes that are relevant for our mental health and our well-being as Muslims and as humans all around the world. Today, we're very honored and pleased to invite Dr. Kamal for our lecture. I personally have known Dr. Kamal for many years. He's one of the leading scholars in the field of Islamic psychology worldwide, and specifically in the Arab world. He has for many, many years conducted a lot of work, a lot of research with regards to Islamic psychology in Arabic. And I really recommend you all to listen and integrate these insights that Dr. Kamal will share. I recommend all of us, and myself first and foremost, because there's so much to learn, and the topic is very relevant. We have received a lot of feedback from many of our colleagues, many of our members, many of our excellent brothers and sisters throughout the world that this is a topic that people want to continue, reflect, and discuss, inshallah. So after this session, we will email out to all of you who registered Dr. Kamal's article that he has translated to English. We will also share it in all of our WhatsApp groups and resource sharing groups and social media platforms as well. Further along, we're establishing a lot of task forces currently that has to do with marital issues and marriage counseling, etc. So stay tuned for that. Sister Nadira, who is one of my great colleagues, she's the project manager for ISIP's International Lecture Series. May Allah bless her for her excellent work. She will also throughout the session share some beneficial resources on the Zoom chat as well, including our WhatsApp groups for resource sharing and our YouTube channel and newsletter as well. So brothers and sisters, most welcome. We're very honored to have you all with us. Thank you for giving out of your precious time. So today's lecture will be about psychological contemplations on marital love with Dr. Muhammad Kamal Alsharief from Saudi and Syria. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's recite Surah Al-Fatiha in the beginning just to get the blessings from Allah Azza wa Jal. So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير. So most welcome. We will just go through some of our guidelines for today's sessions, dear brothers and sisters. All your questions can be sent in the chat as usual. The chat will be open. Last time we had issues with our chat. Alhamdulillah, we resolved it now. And also we will share some beneficial resources throughout the session. And all the questions will be addressed through the chat and afterwards to Dr. Kamal personally in the Q&A section of the lecture today. And after the lecture with Dr. Kamal, we will close with some, reflections and closing du'as, inshallah. A little bit brief about our Zoom etiquettes, dear brothers and sisters. If you can have your cameras on, that's always exciting to see what a diverse group of people we are. So feel free to use the gallery view. No recording or screenshots are allowed. The recording will be uploaded on ISIP's YouTube channel within a couple of days, and the link to the YouTube channel will be shared in the Zoom chat for all of you who do not have access to our YouTube channel. And feel free to subscribe and benefit from over 300 lectures that we have conducted throughout the years. And by subscribing, actually, we can break the algorithm on YouTube so that more people can benefit from the sacred knowledge of Islamic psychology. Keep your microphone muted at all times, dear brothers and sisters. So that this will make the lecture much more efficient. Rename yourself if you like, your name and your country of origin. It's always nice to see the diversity we have, both ethnically and culturally. And utilize the chat option, as we said, for questions. And if you need any live transcription, feel free to press the More button in the Zoom application and then request it, and we will give you access to that, inshallah. A little bit about our mission statement, dear brothers and sisters of ISIP. So ISIP, the International Students of Islamic Psychology, we try to be an inclusive space designed to connect people with diverse backgrounds interested in the field of Islamic psychology. And we aim to disseminate knowledge, share resources, and discuss best practices in a free and accessible manner. And we try to also be a platform to enable further development of people's personal and professional interests, studies, applications, and understandings of Islamic psychology, and also Muslim mental health, of course, within their communities and countries of origin. So a way that you can join and connect with us at ISIP is to join our Islamic Psychology WhatsApp groups for discussions and research sharing related to the field of Islamic psychology. Sister Nadira and myself will share these resources in the Zoom chat. You can also become a member of ISIP via our website at www.isip.foundation, where you can also get access to our digital library with over thousands of resources related to Islamic psychology free of charge. And membership of ISIP as well, dear brothers and sisters, is free of charge as well. And as I mentioned earlier, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have done a lot of lectures and seminars and conferences and symposiums and programs throughout the years in many different languages, including English, Arabic, Urdu, Bosnian, Turkish, French, Swedish, Spanish, Malayalam, Bahasa Indonesian, you name it. And also follow us on Instagram and other social media platforms. Our handle on Instagram is ISIP_global. Also, if you're interested to join our different task forces, our different local or regional chapters, or affiliated initiative, feel free to reach out to us through WhatsApp or through our email at contact@isip.foundation. And if we do not have any local chapter in your country or region, feel free to reach us out, and we will love to help you to establish a local chapter of ISIP. We currently have over 30 local and regional chapters all over the world conducting a lot of different initiatives. All right, let's now move on to the main person for our gathering and lecture today. I'm very happy and delighted to invite our Ustad, Dr. Muhammad Kamal Alsharief. He is a Syrian Consultant Psychiatrist born in 1956. He's currently living and working in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. His main interest is Islamic psychology, and he has authored several books and hosted many TV programs promoting awareness of all psychology from an Islamic perspective. And we have been very honored to work with him throughout the years through the ISIP's Arabic chapter, together with our excellent colleagues under the excellent leadership of Dr. Zubair. He has conducted several lectures in Arabic for us in ISIP, but today is the first time we're doing something in English as well. So just for save a date information, we would like you to be joining us. We would love to invite you for our next international lecture, which will be Saturday, May the 25th, the last Saturday of the month at 1:30 p.m. GMT. And then we will have another scholar from Saudi Arabia, Dr. Ali Yusuf Al-Sahid, who will share his reflection upon the topic and theme of defining and measuring happiness from the Quran, a pursuit of Islamic knowledge integration. And we will share the registration link to this on the next slide here. You can scan this in order to register for our upcoming lecture, but we will also share the lecture on all of our social media and WhatsApp groups and newsletter as well. All right, thank you so much for joining us for this session today. Please forgive us for any shortcomings and make dua for us. And also in the end, we will share a feedback form that we will be very delighted if you would like to answer some of the questions. So without any further ado, Dr. Kamal, the floor is yours. Most welcome to share your screen and start the lecture. We're very honored and pleased to have you with us, inshallah. Most welcome.
Thank you very much for presenting me to my brothers and sisters in this pleasant way. Today we'll talk about this subject, which is actually more important than what I thought. I didn't expect a lot of feedback on it once we made the announcement. So people are very interested in understanding love in general and marital love in particular, because love between husband and wife can be the source of a lot of our happiness in this life. From the beginning, there are two motivations, two drives that make us love another person. It is the first is admiration, the second is gratitude. Admiration is born in ourselves when we see another person who embodies the beautiful qualities that we dream of for ourselves. Okay, we are back to the beginning when I said that two factors make people love each other. First, admiration. The second is the gratitude. What do we mean by admiration? Admiration is a feeling, usually it's a pleasant feeling. We get it or it develops in ourselves when we meet a person in whom we can see all the beautiful qualities we love and we dream of for ourselves. If we are satisfied about ourselves, so we will admire those who resemble us. If not, or we are dreaming still of certain qualities of perfection, when we meet somebody who has these qualities evident in him, we admire him. And when you admire somebody or something, you value him. He becomes very valuable in your in your eyes and in your point of view. So when we admire somebody and we look at him in that way, actually this what makes the basis for more desire to know him, to mix with him, to hear his story, to uh, why we admire a certain person with certain characteristics. Actually, a human being is created in the image of God, the Creator. He is created, and there's a drive inside him, in him, to respect perfection and to dream of perfection. So when he meets somebody who has got some certain characteristics and of perfection, he admires him, he is attracted to him. Actually, as I said, we are attracted to those who are like ourselves as we like ourselves to be, not in the, that's why we can say an intelligent person will admire and get attracted to an intelligent person. A strong personality person will be attracted and will admire somebody who resembles him. A shy person, I'm sure he will not admire or be attracted to another shy person. He will get attracted to the opposite. The opposite, who is outgoing person, who is not shy, who is self-affirmative. This shy person, he admires those who resemble him, but not in reality, who resemble him in his ideal self, in the self, in himself as he wishes it to be, as he dreams it to be. So we are attracted to those who resemble us. We are attracted to those who are not like us when we have certain qualities we don't like in ourselves. So we are attracted to those who have the opposite quality, who have the quality that we like, we love. So the other person becomes attractive to us when he resembles the idea in our mind of ourselves, the ideal self. You know, in psychology, they talk about real self, self as it is, myself as it is in reality, as I perceive it in reality, and my ideal self is myself as I like it to be, I dream of it to be. So when we meet others who are actually like our ideal selves, we are attracted to them and we admire them. When you admire somebody in this way, actually there is a mechanism in our minds called generalization. When you see somebody who has the beautiful and perfect attributes and characteristics, you dream of them for yourself, or you already have them and is very satisfied with yourself because you have such good qualities. When you meet him, you generalize, you see everything in him through these fantastic qualities you love in yourself or you dream of for yourself. When we generalize, the person we admire becomes an ideal person in our eyes. He becomes a perfect person in our eyes and perception. So always when we admire somebody and see him as the perfect person, perfect woman, the perfect man, he is the girl of our dreams, or she is the girl of my dreams, or he is the knight of her dreams. He is perfect. She is perfect in his eyes or her eyes. At that moment, we imagine that our happiness in this life will be with this person and only with this person. And we don't imagine another alternative, somebody else, somebody who can replaces this girl or this man. So we always have this conviction. My happiness will be with her. My happiness will be with him. In this case, he becomes very valuable for us. Admiration makes people valuable to each other. And when I have the conviction that my happiness in this life is will rely on my relationship with this man or this woman, with developing love relationship and living together in the future. This will make me keen to talk to him a lot, to see him a lot, to think about him a lot. And when we talk to each other in this stage, actually, each one will tell the other about himself, about his family, about his dreams for the future, for what are his projects, what plans for his life he has. So they come through this, a lot of talking, they come to know each other very well. Basically, they were two strangers. This is in most of the cases. Sometimes I love my cousin whom I knew before, but usually, generally, they are two strangers. He saw her in a class, or she saw him in a garden or park or whatever. They got attracted. They admired each other. They wanted to become husband and wife, but before that, the stage of idealization, when I look at the other person as an ideal human being, I am living the romantic love. Romantic love is a stage which is very sweet. We like it has its own pleasure. When you live the romance, it's beautiful. You feel life is really happy. And this romance and romantic love pushes you to get to know the other very well and tell the other about yourself very well and very detailed. And this will make the two um, really know each other, because knowledge is very important for us to create a family. If I don't understand this lady very well, she doesn't understand me properly, we are prone to fail when we make a family. So knowledge, knowing each other is very important. Even for love, you cannot love somebody whom you don't know. So knowledge is very important. This romantic love attracts people and makes them get acquainted to each other, then understand each other to some good extent. Then they marry. When they marry, they also, there's a new component or new factor is uh, comes to existence, is when I marry her and I love her, the romantic love, I will have a strong motivation to take care of her, to please her, to give her what she wants, to protect her. These behaviors will make her feel very special for me. And she will feel also a very special woman. She will feel her femininity, and she will be very happy and very grateful to me because I am making her feel that beautiful, that complete person, complete woman. The opposite is also true. When she loves me and we are together as husband and wife, she also, when she does her best to please me, she shows me respect, she obeys me, obedience and respect, and that will make me feel a real man. That makes me feel manly and masculine. And these feelings are very rewarding, very pleasurable. Uh, every man likes to feel them, and opposite, every woman likes to feel that she is the most feminine woman in the world. These feelings, they come when we mix with each other as husband and wife, and when we know how to deal with each other, not to go into a conflict of power strife like many families go through. From the once they are married, each of them will try to have power on the other, to make the other under his command, and to push him to do things in my way. This will make our marriage unrewarding. It will not make us uh, get happiness from it, and that will affect how the future will be. When we succeed in pleasing each other in this marriage, actually, that new factor is added to admiration. It is gratitude, the feeling inside you when you feel obliged, when you feel thankful to the other person because he is giving you things you like, you want in this life. So, admiration and gratitude. Actually, the admiration, according to psychologists, was built on a delusion or an illusion. What is the delusion? Is that this person is perfect. He is perfect, he is flawless, he has no defects, nothing wrong with him. And this is a kind of delusion because when you see a young woman or a young man who are in romantic love and you warn him, take care, he is bad, he is criminal, the lover will not listen to you. It's like a delusion, actually, in deluded patients. He will not believe you. He will find excuses and insist that my beloved is perfect. He is good. He is repairable, at least. Yani, he is addicted, she says, I will treat him. I will help him get treatment. But why do you want to start with somebody who is defected and needs repair? This is romantic love, makes us think the other person is perfect or near to perfect, and easily we can get him to perfectionism. And that's what makes us catch on him, want this person, and we stop considering other lovers. This is the first delusion. The second is that our happiness will be only with this person. Okay, these delusions actually, when we get married, the halo, the perfectionism, perception of this man or woman starts to erode little by little. When I, in the morning, see her with her hair not combed, and she doesn't look that fresh or smiling, also the same, or when we do other things that will make our perfection be under reconsideration, that in which we look ordinary, we look normal persons, not perfect persons. This will change the way I look at my beloved wife, or she looks at me, and gradually we see each other as we really are, not as we want us to be. When I see my wife as a perfect feminine, I see her as I want her to be. But after months of marriage and actually after the sexual relationship, which ends usually with an orgasm, a lot of the halo fades, and I see the other person as I see him. I see the real person in him. I don't see the image which was in my mind of him. I see him. I see his reality. This will make the admiration less, unless gratitude and other qualities interfere and raises up the admiration again. Love gradually, when gratitude comes and is formed and is felt inside me and inside her, with admiration or whatever remained of our admiration of each other, this will make a new basis, or a basis for a new kind of love. It won't be that romantic. It won't depend on idealizing the other person and seeing him as the perfect lover. It will depend on my gratitude to him and my admiration also of him together, that new kind of love, it's not full of emotions like the romantic love, but it's a stronger love. Actually, psychologists consider it this is the real love. They say the romantic stage is just the stage of falling in love. The later one, which they call it the companionate love, the love of companions, which is less romantic, but they say it is more realistic. It will live much longer and it will help the couples start their life. She will try to have a children, he will go back to his job, and they will live their lives properly without being distracted by the romantic feelings and the desire to be with each other all the time. Actually, as I said, we are people with each are similar and are not similar. In psychology, the similarity is one proven factor of attraction between people in general and between lovers in particular. So the similar persons get attracted. I told you we are not attracted to the person who always like us. We're attracted to those who resemble us in the qualities we have and we are pleased to have it. So they resemble us in what we love in ourselves, or they resemble us in what we dream of for ourselves. And that will make the rule of similarity actually a valid one, but not always the similarity. A woman will be attracted and a man will be very attracted to a woman, although they are not similar. He is a man, she is a woman. Here comes the concept of complementarity. When she is a woman, I meet her, I admire her, we love each other, we make a family. We become complementary. She completes me and I complete her. She has got things I don't have and I like to have, but I don't want to change. I'm happy with my gender. I am a man, I want to remain a man. So how to own other qualities that I want to for myself, but I don't want to change my self or my gender. This will come through the love relationship and a successful marital life when we get married to the proper person, and when we know how to take care of our marriage, to take care of our love. Our love and marriage are like a beautiful plant you brought to your living room. Okay, it's beautiful, and if you don't irrigate it with water, it will die. It will become weaker and die. Also, love between two persons, husband and wife, and the marriage itself should be irrigated to remain viable and to continue in its presence, to be satisfying, to give us the real happiness we want on this life. So, as I said, people of the who are similar get attracted. People who are complementary get attracted. That's why the strongest love relationship is the relationship of a woman with a wife, and love between a man and a woman. This is the strongest kind of love or relationship or attachment that human beings go through and enjoy in this life. So, uh, even when the relationship is not a healthy one, for example, a man who is domineering, who is abusing, the relationship with a normal wife will not succeed. But his relationship with a dependent wife who will accept whatever from him, whatever abuse, just to remain with him, feeling secure with him, this will make this bad relationship succeed. So the normal and the abnormal, complementarity is very important, similarity is very important. Um, Actually, there is one very major point which make us attracted to the similar and to the complementary person. God Almighty created us, men and women. He, in animals, in the animal world, always a beauty is given for the male, and the strength is given for the female. That's why the female who are the workers in whatever animal society, and the males are just protectors and leaders. But God created the human being in the opposite way. He gave the strength to the man, to the male, and he gave the beauty to the woman. He put in our souls, in ourselves, the desire to value beauty, to wish to own it, to have it for ourselves. And the female, which we should not deny it, she is not the strong kind of a human being. She is weaker, muscular weakness compared to the male partner. She also wants his strength. He is powerful. She wants this strength to get protection. He will protect her. He will also suffice her needs. He will nourishes her. He will bring her what she needs of things, she and her children of him, of course. So these two creatures whom God created, they were created different, but still they get very attracted to each other, and their relationship is the best relationship between two human beings, and it will last for the longest time between any two human beings. So this beauty in the woman, I love to have it for myself. But I don't want to become a woman. Even men respect the beauty and love the beauty of women and value it very much, but they never like to be considered a woman. It is a kind of abuse. If you tell a man you are a woman, it is abuse. You are referring to weakness, while men, in reality, they are born and reared up and grow up in love with power, They want always to feel powerful. So a woman also the same. A woman they respect the power of the man. They want it for themselves because for them it's a source of safety and security, but they don't want to change. Those who want to change are having their abnormal issues, but the normal people do not want to change. She is a beautiful woman. She wants to remain a woman and a beautiful, but she wants the power of a man to be hers. To be hers how? When they love each other, when he loves her, she feels secure because his power will protect her. His power will help him bring food and things for her and her children, as we just said. So the differences here, there are factors to make the male and female complementary. They complete each other, and they call it also that their love will expand themselves. She is a woman, but has a man with her who is dedicated for her protection and nourishing and whatever. She is also beautiful. She is dedicated for this man. She obeys him. He feels very lucky to have such a beautiful creature for himself. So when a man sees a beautiful woman, he, as I said, overestimates her value and feels a strong desire to possess her beauty. If not literally possessing, now it's no more slavery. Nobody can possess another person in literal possession, but the man can possess her symbolically through love and sex. Through sex, people feel that they possess the other, especially men, when they have sex with a woman, they feel that he has possessed her. She is his. Thus, we are attracted to others because they resemble us and because they complete us. Marital life brings together those who are similar and those who are complementary, so that a person may feel comfortable befriending someone who resembles him and may be comfortable befriending someone who completes him. For example, we said it, a woman is attracted to a spouse and marries him, although he is not completely similar to her. The relationship between the two lovers, man and woman, goes, as we mentioned, through two stages. The first is the romantic love, which is based on an illusion, or call it a delusion. It's based on something which is not true, conviction which is not true, but it is the magnet that makes them attracted to each other and pulled to each other, and so they can build the basis for the real love, as they call it. Actually, myself, I don't agree with these psychologists who say romantic love is not love. It's only falling in love, and the companionate love is the real love. Both are love, but romantic love is a kind of love based on admiration. if the admired person remains يعني attractive at the same level, if my admiration for you does not يعني fade or is not going away, I will remain romantic with you. So romance is love, but it's the kind of love based on uh, admiration, based on idealization. When I see only your يعني good qualities, good characters. So the other love, which is the companionate love, is the love which is formed when we give each other, when we please each other, when we يعني make each other happier, when we help each other achieve his goals in life. He wants to become يعني a leader in his field. She wants to have beautiful children. She rears them up and they become doctors and engineers or whatever. So he helps her to achieve her goals and she helps him to achieve his goals. And that will make each other grateful, thankful, and uh, love each other in يعني in because when somebody does you something good, the normal person who is not a psychopath or a bad person will feel the desire to reward the one who gave him or who was benevolent with him, who was helpful, who was يعني who showed him love and respect. So love is built on admiration and gratitude. Over the years, these two factors are not stable between husband and wife. Admiration might fade, or it might remain, or it might increase if she succeeds in uh, obtaining new characters that will make him more يعني, admiring her. The opposite also, the gratitude. Gratitude is not fixed. It depends on how you deal with me, how you treat me, how you are with me. If you are يعني just, if you don't wrong me, if you don't take my money, if you yes, I will remain grateful to you. But if you are bad with me, I will not be grateful unless I am stupid. So gratitude is prone to become less. It's prone to become more over the years. And that will make my love for my wife less or more, or it will remain stable. So gratitude and admiration together determine how much I love you, will determine how long my love will remain, يعني really will remain love. When you do bad things to me, it turns to anger, and anger gradually becomes hatred, and you will lose my love. The opposite for me also. So there is one idea here, very important. When you want a husband and wife, for example, or two lovers to return to each other and to love each other again, we need two things. First, the offending party, the husband or wife who is doing bad things that makes the other unhappy, this offender should stop abusing the other. Without it, no more love will be formed. They cannot return to their old love. And if this man or woman uh, reforms himself and becomes normal in his relationship with the offended wife or husband, unless the offended party forgives and pardons the wrongdoer, there will never be love again. So it will be refraining from abusing the other, and it will be forgiving the one who abused me. These two factors are very necessary, very important conditions for love to return after difficulties in the relationship. Actually, there is an Arabic poem. One of the verses say, "Be kind to people, and you will enslave their hearts. Their hearts will become like your slaves when you are kind to them, because people have always been enslaved by good favors, except for psychopaths and bad people. The majority are good, and when you do good things to the good people, you will enslave their hearts. They will become very loyal and loving. So there is some factor also, something very important in marriage. Whenever you read about marriage, they say, well, marriage is important for producing offspring, children, and the species continue in existence. And this is true, but it is not the important part of it. Allah, our Creator, says that He created us, male and female, and put in us the desire to be with each other, so we can find tranquility and peace of the mind with each other. It's not to have children. Children will come. Those who cannot have children, they can have the main cause, the main game, the main goal of marriage, which is tranquility and peacefulness of the heart and of the self. God says, and among his signs in the word is that he created for you mates from among yourselves. So we are human. I am a man, he created a woman for me, or the opposite. So he made us couples, he made us two mates, different, a man and a woman, so that you will find tranquility in them, in the other mates. He says he, about himself, has placed between you affection and mercy. So in the Quran, always the relationship between believers in general, between a man and a woman, always it is affection and mercy. It's mutual love and mercy. So when God says, I made it affection and mercy between you, between each other of you, although you are different, actually, if we think about it, you have to pay attention for some differences which are purposeful between man and woman. For example, uh, my wife, she is beautiful, but if she grows a beard, I will this will stop my attraction, will affect my love, and also if a man develops breasts, the same. If we are the same, that's why it's don't believe that a man loves a man sexually like a man loves a woman. I've seen many cases of this absolute homosexuality, and some of them, they have the psychology of women. They love the other, but it will never be the same like love between a man and woman. Why? Because they are similar, very similar, and similarity induces competition between the similars. And competition can be a basis for kind of hostility. So that's why when you hear about two doctors, two farmers, who are the same job, there will always be competition between them. But between the different, there can be love and affection. And that's why Islam discouraged men and discouraged women from dressing up like the other gender, or from talking in the way the other gender, or from whatever makes you look like her or makes her look like you. So this is an important factor in creating people and making them having affection and mercy. Because mercy, what is mercy? Actually, mercy when your heart is clear of hostility. It's clear. You don't want any harm to affect the other person, so you have mercy for him. Affection, this is the attraction and willing to be with each other, and so and so. So when I said gratitude is built on how we deal with each other, especially how a woman respects her husband and makes him feel he is the man, makes him feel his manhood, his masculinity properly. I remember a lady who was highly educated and who had a good post in a government where I worked before. She came to me and she told me about her husband. He is a big command in police. She told me after these years he married his secretary, who is not beautiful at all. Then we discussed things and we found that this woman is not giving him the chance to be the man at home. She is, as sometimes it's said, she puts on the trousers. She does everything. She leads the family. When he found a woman who obeys him and who shows him, makes him feel he is her man, he loved her and he got married to her. So this is the same when we are both different sexes, but when we follow the instructions of our religion to deal with each other in a way that will make us continue as attracted to each other, continue having a gratitude and admiration of each other. And so we continue loving each other. When we succeed in this, you are astonished to see the best love is between an old man and an old woman. They are no more sexually attractive, maybe no more able to do any sex, but the relationship, the attachment is stronger and stronger. And it happens that he dies, and after a few days, she dies. So this is not on depending on the looks. It depends on the relationship, on the love itself, love for the person, not for the looks of him. Uh, Something very important when we talk in Islam about obedience of the female, the woman to the male. This will make many women get angry. Why should I be the one who obeys? Why shouldn't he also obey me? Actually, God says, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنثَى. Male is not like female. They are not like, they are not completely alike. Yes, we are of the same root. We are brothers and sisters in humanity, but we are different also. So a man will never be pleased to get orders from his wife, but he will be very pleased if he is happy with her, to to know what she loves, what she likes, what she dreams of, and to work hard to achieve that for her. A very famous phrase or sentence said by a Bedouin Arab woman long ago, and it was recorded in books. She told her daughter, who was getting ready to join her husband, she told her this sentence: be his female slave. Be his female slave, and he will be your male slave. And this, it doesn't look, in the beginning, it doesn't look comprehensible, or it doesn't look any logic, but actually observations do prove that this is true. When my wife is obedient to me, doesn't wait till I get angry and my voice goes high and to obey me, I'll be very grateful to her. And when I know she wants to have a piece of jewelry, or she wants to have something, whatever, I will do my best to get it for her, just to please her. Unconsciously, I'm rewarding her because she pleased me. And when she obeyed me, she made me feel comfortable and secure about my masculinity, about my manlyhood. And I feel like to reward her. It's the opposite also. When we please each other, there will be unconscious drive and desire to reward the other and to please him or please her. There is one point still remaining in my lecture. Women, the most frequent complaint I heard from women, from wives, is that my husband doesn't talk to me, doesn't talk much. He is most of the time silent with his newspaper, following the news on TV, and going out with his friends. So when the husband comes home, and on his face it's clear he is worried about something. He is having some difficulties at work. His wife always, out of love, asks him, what's on? What's there? What's on your mind? Why are you look unhappy? The usual answer is there is nothing. The husband denies having any issues troubling him. So he says there is nothing. His wife be- becomes in real pain because she feels that her husband is treating her like a stranger because he does not reveal his secrets or he doesn't complain to her about his concerns. She is comparing what he does with what she does when she is having issues of concern or troubling her. When she is troubled by something, she will search to find the best woman or the best person she loves and she trusts and will sit or over the phone, over the net, will spend a lot of time telling her or telling him about her difficulties. When this happens, actually, doesn't mean she is telling her friend or her relative or her husband even because she wants their help. She, she doesn't want help from anybody unless she asks you frankly that I need your help. Tell me what to do. Help me with this. But if she just tells you about her difficulties, she just wants of you to listen to her with empathy and sympathy and encouragement. She doesn't want you to solve her problems. And this what happens when women, wives, tell their husbands about their issues. Husbands are very quick in suggesting solutions. She doesn't want solutions. She wants you to listen. The opposite is with the husbands. Husbands are by nature they consider and respect power and strength and independence. They want to feel independent. They want to feel not in need for others unless it's really important. So they never talk about their issues to others because they consider talking to others about their troubling things is an indirect asking or request for help. They don't want to help. Yeah, it's very there is an example which is true when he is driving in somewhere and searching for a certain address. His wife is with him. She will tell him, ask this man. He will postpone asking till he loses hope that he will reach to that place without help. So this is the nature of man. Man, when he is having difficulties, he goes into silence. He doesn't want to feel dependent on others, while women are different. So when your husband comes home and he looks unhappy and he prefers not to tell anything, just be patient, give him a chance to think about his problems. He will think about it silently and he will manage. And if he needs your help, he will ask you your help. So these are things which husband and wife should consider to help make their marital life happy and full of understanding. Actually, I always say it, the worst thing in our culture, in the culture of the 20th, 21st centuries, is that we prepare people at schools, we prepare the students for many things in life, but we forget to prepare them for uh, how to become a good husband and wife, how to become a good parent, father and mother, and how to be a good lover. So these things are never taught, are never educated in schools, and they are very, very important for our lives, uh, everywhere and anywhere and any time. So what I pray to God is that I will see some ministries of education, some adopting certain programs to teach our children, our youngsters, not the children, our teenagers, how to live a happy marital life, happy parental roles. And this is the end of it. Thank you very much for listening.
Jazakallah khairan, dear Dr. Kamal. Thank you so much for your presentation. We really appreciate it. Please, if you can just stop sharing your screen, Dr. Kamal, and we will start with the Q&As, inshallah.
Sure.
There's a lot of questions in the chat, a lot of reflection. First and foremost, thank you so much for giving out of your precious time, dear Dr. Kamal. We're very honored to have you with us. And thank you so much for sharing your reflections and your contemplations with regards to marriage from this point of view. May Allah bless you. There's a lot of questions here. So let me see here. Let me start here. So one question is, so there are some people who have also been provoked in the chat, Dr. Kamal. So I will try to share their questions as well. So everybody's questions are most welcome. And we're a space for discussions and reflections, dear brothers and sisters. So feel free to share the questions. And if you want to share them privately, you can do that as well if you feel that is easier. So one question is here. So it's easy to lay out the expectations of women towards a husband. Well, what about the husband towards a man? It's a question from the chat, Dr. Kamal. And it's several similar questions here that I see.
Can you please repeat?
So Dr. Kamal, there are several reflections, particularly from some of the chat members and that I see here, some of the sisters here. So summary of the questions, there are similar thoughts. The question is easy to lay out the expectations of women towards husbands, but what about husbands towards a woman?
Did I do this mistake? Actually, it is in our culture the repeated mistake by those who preach or those who educate the society. Always the woman should be the good wife. But this is not true. Marriage will not succeed when the woman is good and the man is bad. What will happen actually? She will tolerate and years will go and they will remain husband and wife, but she will develop depression because the relationship is not mutually satisfying. So I don't, I hope you did not misunderstand me. I don't mean I didn't say the wife should be the one who take care of their marriage. It is something both should cooperate to hold the marriage proper and to keep their love for each other continuous and in good shape. Admiration and gratitude is applies to both. And anybody who had, he can, the recording will come out, and you can and hear it again. I don't believe, and it is a big mistake to just ask the woman to be good without asking the man to do his also share. It's not. Yes, the example I brought from the Arabic Bedouin, it is this is a mother advising her daughter who is going to join her husband, but it doesn't mean that the whole issue is just asking women to be good and keeping silent about whatever mistakes men do. Okay.
Jazakallah khairan for your answer, Dr. Kamal. There is a question here from Sister Nafisa. Doctor, when you speak about the fact that men need beauty from women, do you mean physical beauty or also softness?
All, everything which is, you know, I understand beauty is the embodiment of perfection. When a woman who is perfect in her character and in her body, and her softness is part of the beauty of her body. So she is perfect. She is, in my eyes, beautiful. The opposite also for man. When the man have soft voice, this will make him look womanly. And when he looks womanly, this is a point of competition between him and his wife, and will affect the love, the mutual love. We should be different. And even one of my friends, he said something once, which is very good, that there are certain attributes women lack compared to men, and the opposite. When we go talk about women who lack certain characters and qualities, he said this is a deficiency, but part of her completion. This is deficiency, part of perfection of her being created as a woman. As I told you, if a man doesn't have a beard, it causes him embarrassment. But if a woman has got a beard, it's too bad. So we should be perfect as a woman, perfect as a man, which means soft voice for the woman, hard and harsh, strong voice for the man. Yes, this is what I understand.
I
Things.
think, Dr. Kamal, Jazakallah khair, maybe if I may just share some reflections. I think sometimes when we say, and I agree that we're complementarity, and as you say, both genders have strengths and weaknesses, and both genders have, I mean, we believe in complementarity. We're for complementarity. Men need women and women need men, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us different sacred roles as part of what is defined by the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So within that, yes, I think that both men and women have both a lot of strengths and weaknesses. So men have some weaknesses and some attributes that are complemented by women having more strengths in those attributes, and then women might have some weaknesses and other attributes that is complemented by men having strength in those attributes, so that we're complementing each other. I think this is the complementarity way of how we address things when it comes to gender relationships within marriage, but also outside marriage, of course, generally, that we are here as balance. We are here as mizan. We don't need to take each other's roles or take each other's positions or take each other's character traits per se. And then there are certain character traits that are both for men and women. To be generous is both masculine and feminine, right? To be curious or to be humble or to be grounded is both a masculine trait and a feminine trait. So some traits are both masculine and feminine. Some traits are more masculine and some traits are more feminine. And I think sometimes, Dr. Kamal, because a lot of people have so many experiences of being raised in cultures that are not congruent with Quran and Sunnah, even though they might come from Muslim countries or non-Muslim countries, it's very important for us to always look at the benchmark. And also, as Dr. Kamal shared several times, Quran and Sunnah. What does Quran and Sunnah say with regards to marriage interactions or marriage, roles, right? What does Quran and Sunnah say about being a chivalrous man and a chivalrous woman? What is sacred manhood? What is sacred womanhood? What is gender complementarity? The modern world, the Western world, which is based upon ideologies which is not congruent with Quran and Sunnah, secularism, and all these ideologies that are derived from secular thought, don't believe in sacred roles. It's a very anthropocentric worldview where it's all centered about what I think is best. I decide my identity, myself, my choice, my decision. It's very individualistic, it's very anthropocentric, which is very human-centered, egocentric in a sense. And we live in a very narcissistic system, which feeds the lower aspects of our nafs, right? And what we as Muslims have, we have a higher ethics, which is beyond what I want, what I need, which is the ethics that is given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and through the sunnah, it's the practice and the embodiment of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us as an ethics. And why I'm sharing this, I think, Dr. Kamal, is because I noticed a lot of reflections in the chat. A lot of people wrote it privately as well. I think a lot of people are raised in cultures where, unfortunately, in the name of the deen, they've been forced to take roles that are not according to Quran and Sunnah. And that's why we always say, for instance, that women are not allowed to, to communicate their wishes, their thoughts, or their needs, or women should only have, not women are not allowed to have academical thoughts or reflections beyond just certain roles. Women are not allowed to communicate in a are not equipped to communicate in a rational way, which is really against the teachings of Quran and Sunnah. And that is actually quite destructive views of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created women. I mean, if you look at Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu anha, she is not only the mothers of believers, but she is one of the greatest alima of all time. We wouldn't know the sunnah of the Prophet without all of her reiteration of the hadith. So there is a lot of these notions also with, for instance, even male roles. If we look at it from culture that is not congruent with Quran and Sunnah, that men should not be men. In order for men to be humble, they should take away their sacred masculinity, right? It's almost like demasculinization has become the norm, specifically within the secular Western hemisphere, of creating balance and harmony in families. And this is also very destructive. So if we see some things in Muslim context that are cultural and that are not congruent with Quran and Sunnah, we need to take that away, because the urf and the culture which is not congruent with Quran and Sunnah is actually not good. But the culture that is congruent with Quran and Sunnah, we keep, because Quran and Sunnah is the benchmark. But we see it in the West as well. Suddenly, the contrary reaction to this type of destructive notions of masculinity and femininity is that they say all route to evil is from men, and men should be demasculinized or emasculinized in order to create harmony, which is also very destructive. And this is where the nafsani, anthropocentric views of gender or gender relationships or gender identities or gender communication comes into place. And then we endorse Islamic psychology. What does that mean? That we should be holistic as men and as women, that we contribute to one another, that we complement one another, that we have a lot of things in common. There's a lot of common, and that we're different. As Dr. Kamal said, we're different, which is beautiful because Allah creates diversity in a way that we complement each other. But we don't go away from God's wish. We cannot take our own ethics. It needs to be congruent with the Islamic ethics, which is the higher means, and which is also the maqasid, the objectives of Sharia. And in that congruence, we need men and we need women, and we complement each other. A sacred man, as Dr. Kamal said, to be harsh, maybe we also sometimes, Dr. Kamal, with your permission, sometimes when we translate from different languages, it might sound different, right? So I'm guessing you don't mean harsh. I think that men can be more firm. Maybe that is the word. Or maybe we can still be soft, but how are we soft? Softness for men might sound different than softness from women. But in the end, to be a man is to be, according to the Prophet ﷺ, he was very firm, he was very clear, but he was also very compassionate. It's not about being authoritarian. I always say it's about being authority, not authoritarian. If you're an emir, as a man or as a brother, you shouldn't be authoritarian. It's not about listen to me and do exactly as I say. Rather, you should be saying it with authority, which is this is the way we can see things, and what is your opinion, and bring people's opinion. And then at the end of the day, if there's ikhtilaf, you can also say, thank you so much for giving me this nasiha, I really appreciate it, but let's still take this decision and move forward. So it's not about being authoritarian, because I think sometimes some people might view the role of being a leader as being authoritarian, which is to be a pharaoh. Rather, to have authority is to be an emir, which is to be servant, which is to have servitude, which is to allow everybody to speak and have an opinion. It's about empowering people. It's about coming first in and leaving last. This is how we view like emir role leadership in organizations, for instance, that you're a servant, and that's also to be an emir is also to break your nafs. It's actually purification of the nafs. If you look at the Prophet ﷺ, he was always the first to be there and the last to leave. That is leadership. And in that, we have sacred roles. We have the emir and we have the emira, right? The emir being the father, the head of the family, the emira being the mother, who is a sacred role as well and has a sacred aspect of these complementarity point of views of men and women. Dr. Kamal, I'm sharing this because I'm summarizing a lot of the feedback in the chat, and I'm also noticing that unfortunately, both in the Western Hemisphere and also in Muslim countries, there are some notions of sacred manhood and sacred womanhood, which is not congruent with Quran and Sunnah. In the West, we have one extreme on one end, which is this demasculinization and defeminization. It's like women should take men's role, the men should take women's role, which doesn't need to be like that. It's complementarity. There are certain roles that are common that we both take because there is commonalities between the genders, and there are certain sacred roles that are different, hence we need to complement. And then on the other end is also, unfortunately, these cultural toxic notions of, for instance, some views that are not congruent with how the Prophet viewed the sacred role of women or sisters or mothers, and also destructive views of what the Prophet viewed the sacred role of men and brothers and fathers. So I think just to summarize the reflections, Dr. Kemal, do you have any reflections with regards to what I said?
Yeah, thank you very much for your addition. Actually, I have always thought about what the feminists in Europe and USA ask for. They all ask for society to allow them to become men. It's just they are considering the men's roles in the society as superior to their roles at home and mother and wife. So they want the society to help them become men, and they will become men. Some of them will succeed and many will become bad men. I mean bad not in the moral meaning, but inefficient, not that fully efficient man. So we should reconsider our value system, women and men, women, what they do, I've always said it, if a woman is making children, making humans for the society, I'm sure she should be, her role is superior to the role of a man making shoes. Although we need shoes, but yani, women do not realize how important is what they do, and they want just to be like men, just to be men, which is, yani, it doesn't go with nature. Yani, nature created men for something different from women. This is what I always thought. There is a problem with the value system, the no appreciation for the roles of women as mothers and as wives. And also, yes, the society should give a woman the full chance to try whatever they want. She can become a president of a country, yes, she can. Some of them can. Those who can in women are less than those who can in men. But if you go to a certain woman, she might be much better than all men to become a president. So society should give the chance for women to achieve whatever they like, even if it is the role of a man. But women should be proud of their original role in rearing up human beings to become good citizens, to become good persons in this life. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khairan, Dr. Kamal, for your answers. There are a couple of other questions here. So there is a question here from Abdullah. Should a Muslim marry by that criterion? Case example, a person does not have any such feelings of attraction towards anyone. Should he wait an age to get attracted to someone, or try to find a rationally marry someone who is religious, for instance?
Myself, I think the attraction is a very important part of it. And if no attraction, instead of marrying a woman on the basis of she is religious and he will not help her be satisfied in their marriage, I think if he thinks he is too much not normal, he should go to a psychologist or psychiatrist and search for the cause of this. Some men are normal, but they don't want to go through the responsibilities of marriage, and that's why they continue living alone, and they are happy like that. So marriage is not a must. It's not a farida in religion. It's something not we have to do it, but it is sunnah, something we are encouraged to do it. So expecting all the normal to be happier when they marry. Actually, studies on psychiatric disorders in the West found that happily married men are much healthier from the mental point of view and from the view of addiction. They are much better than those who are not married. So marriage can be very helpful, but be sure you will not take her to your world and she will suffer with you. If you will make her suffer just for you to get married, no, don't be so selfish. Don't marry. Get a treatment. Okay.
Jazakallah khairan for your advice. Dr. Kamal, there is Sister Zainab here who is asking, how can we know before marriage that we are similar or complementary?
You know, similarity which is needed between husband and wife is not similarity, yani, as we said, her voice is soft, his voice should be soft. It is similarity in things very easy to find. Similarity in uh, the way you look at things. It's both you should be a believer, but the way we believe, the way we practice our religion is different from one to another. So if he has got his own way, which is too far from your own, don't marry him. So you search for somebody whom you feel and your thoughts are similar to his thoughts. Your values are similar to his values. So in this way, similarity is achieved, is realized, and that marriage will be successful because it's based on a lot of similarity, but a lot of differences also is necessary. You will never find really happy, successful marriage between two women or two men. It will never be as successful as marriage between a man and a woman. But similarity is important, differences are important, and I don't think it's difficult. Is he similar? You are similar in attitudes towards life, towards certain issues. He is outgoing. He wants to drink or whatever. You are religious, want to do your prayers, and you are not compatible. You are not similar enough. Yes, he will find somebody else and he will marry happily, probably, but not you, unless you are ready to go with him to that extent. Or if he is ready to go with you to your own extent. So I don't think it's difficult. I don't think. But just one should not hurry up and do it before thinking. If you think about it, if you ask about this person, yes, the traditional way is very good and it helps people do or have very successful marriages. Because before you see him and admire him, uh, you ask about him. Is he a good person or he's a criminal? Is he an addict or he's a straight person? Or yeah. So collecting informations, taking any dialogues with him, and that will help you find out whether we are compatible or and really not compatible. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer. And I just want to reiterate, like there is exactly as Dr. Kamal said, I think sometimes um, to be different in certain things are very important. According to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation, right, Dr. Kamal? Allah created us different as men and women, both biologically, but also we different roles and different dispositions, different characters. And then we have commonalities. Commonalities besides Quran and Sunnah is it's good to have same spiritual values, same cultural values. It's even recommended to understand each other's upbringing, right? Same even social values, even political values, even because if not, then it will be a lot of friction. But then complementarity, as Dr. Kamal said, let's say you have a man who is a sanguine or is melancholic in his disposition, using terminologies from the Unani tip tradition, and then a woman can be if can have the opposite, energy or character in that sense, and then you complement each other, right? If they're too introverted being together, then nobody will speak. But then if it's an extrovert, as Dr. Kamal said, being with an introvert, then you complement each other. Because as Dr. Kamal said, we want to be with the other one that we admire. That is the opposite of us, that we want to be like them and be aspired to be like them. So an introvert might want to be with an extrovert. Now, this is very minimizing because it's so much more complex than this, right? So we don't want to make these relationships so simplistic in its presentation, but we balance each other as an introvert or extrovert, and then you become a combination of that, which is ambivert, you know. So this is just an example, right? And I think also Dr. Kamal, just reflecting, is also to have you know, spiritual intelligence, but also have emotional intelligence. You know, it's important to be emotionally aware. Sometimes we think as men, I'm just speaking as a man, that being emotional is not manly. It is actually manly, but we can express it differently. To be, for instance, in touch with your emotion is actually something that the Prophet ﷺ was, right? When his son died, for instance, he cried, right? He had joy, you know. Like Paul Ekman speaks about the 6 universal emotions, right, Dr. Kamal? The Prophet embodied all of these universal emotions. So to be a man is to be emotional, because some men are like, we cannot express our emotions because that's not masculine. That's not true. That is actually toxic attitude towards being a man. Another aspect of that as a woman is to also be able to give the space for the man to be emotional as well, right? To allow him as well. And men should allow women to be emotional as well. And then it's to find that balance, that being emotional might look differently for men and women, but nevertheless, it is equally important to be holistic. And I think, Dr. Kamal, we live in a very interesting time where societies are very I think we lost Dr. Kamal, by the way. I don't know what happened. Um, all right, brothers and sisters, Dr. Kamal, I think his connection went away. So, oh, Dr. Kamal, are you with us? Dr. Kamal, could you unmute yourself? Dr. Kamal? Dr. Kamal? Your microphone is muted, Dr. Kamal. So while you unmute yourself, Dr. Kamal, I can just say that from the aspect of yani complementarity, to be in touch as a man and woman to all of those God-given you know, emotions and character traits are important, but then we need to balance them, right? And this is the balance. And balance might be different in certain areas for men compared to women, and for women compared to men. In some areas, it might be the same. In some areas, we have common denominators. So some attributes are both masculine and feminine. Some are specific feminine and some are specific masculine. But we should be proud of being men and we should be proud of being women according to Quran and Sunnah. This is the Fatwa tradition of Islam. We're trying to work in ISIP with the Fatwa Academy of Sacred Man and the Sacred Woman. And what is it to be a sacred man? It is to be compassionate. And sometimes, you know, if you're not practicing what you preach and you ask your spouse to do that instead, then actually that could be sometimes hypocrisy from both sides, right? So you want to have a spiritual spouse and you're not practicing spirituality yourself, then you cannot, as Dr. Kamal said, you know, force that person to do that, because then you're not practicing as you preach. And I know some of you reflected upon that. So this is the complementarity, and it's also to also know the difference. It's okay to be different. Men do not need to be women, and they do not need to take their position to be more compassionate. And women do not need to take men's position or men's you know, approach to be more firm. It's about finding balance. We need each other. And we live in a society, specifically in the Western Hemisphere, in the secular world, where it's all about demasculinization and defeminization as a solution. No, actually, the solution to the toxicity we see within masculinity and within femininity, because we have, unfortunately, toxic masculinity and toxic femininity today. This is because this masculinity and femininity is not fine-tuned with Quran and Sunnah. It's not fine-tuned with the akhlaq tradition of Islam, or what we refer to as futuwa, for instance. It is from a nafsani point of view, right? So fine-tuning it to Quran and Sunnah to find that balance is good, because demasculinization, defeminization, to find balance and harmony will destroy the society, which we can see right now in the West, where there is so much issues right now, which is of concern for the health of both men, women, and families, right? And then on the opposite side, we have these notions that are not according to Quran and Sunnah or Islam, but are cultural things in some Muslim parts of the world or Muslim societies or contexts, where it's also like, men should not show emotion. Well, that's not Islamic. Men should not be compassionate. That is not Islamic. And also, women should not do this. Women should not do that. Women should not express their, opinion. Of course, women can express their opinion. So, in the end, these are also cultural narratives that are not congruent with Quran and Sunnah that we can find in Muslim communities and in non-Muslim communities. And the solution is more Islam, more masculinity, more femininity, according to Quran and Sunnah, the akhlaq of the Prophet ﷺ. So I think this is just the gist of it. Dr. Kamal, are you microphone on? So you
Yeah,
can.
I
Yeah.
think
Perfect.
I'm on.
All right. So we'll take a last question and then we will leave. A lot of people are writing privately. They don't want to share it publicly. So I'm trying to summarize their reflections here. But there is from Nadira, what should we do when feelings of gratitude diminishes because we got used to it? Early in relationship, we usually feel so grateful for whatever they do for us, but over time it disappears because we used to be treated that way. Very good question.
Yes, one should be fair. Yani, if you do me good things today, I'm grateful. Tomorrow, after then, it should be just taken for granted, and I don't feel grateful for what you are doing for me, which is not your yani, duty, uh, basically or originally. Actually, I have written but not translated as يعني, an article or a chapter on the how, on the wife should she should do housework and taking care of children and whatever with يعني, just like a must for her as a wife, she should do it. Actually, in Islam, it's not like that. It's volunteering to do it. And when I still, يعني, when I have been married for many years, when I find my يعني, afternoon meal well prepared, I don't forget to thank her. Not only to thank her with words, but also to feel thankful. She is doing things which are not obligatory on her as a wife. Because those who say it's obligatory, so the wife should not go out without your permission. She should do whatever household chores. She should not refuse when you call her to your bed. I said, what is the difference between this wife and a female slave? Female slave should do these things. And this one. So it is something she volunteers. I will keep thanking her till the end of my life because I am fair. I should appreciate whatever good is done to me without being my own right. It is not a right. It's something she is doing for me. Also, the Islamic fiqh, the husband has to give her food, give her clothes in the winter and summer, and all basic things. She also should be grateful when I give her a piece of gold, when I take her to on tourism for to another country, when I many things we husbands give are not obligatory on them as husbands in Islam. And many things wives do are not obligatory on them because they are our wives. We we should know the basics then we should be thankful for whatever she does or I do, more than the basic things. So life between husband and wife should be, I said, built on giving gifts. When she prepares food for me, she is giving me a gift. I'm supposed to bring a housemaid and pay her money. But when my wife does it, this is a gift from her. When I give her something, it's not a must. As a husband, I'm also giving her gifts. So marriage in Islam is goes on a gifting. You give her gifts, she gives you gifts, but not taken for granted. It's not your right. If she does it today, tomorrow she doesn't deserve being thanked for it. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Kamal. There is a lot of questions here, a lot of interest. I need to let you go because we've been taking so much of your precious time. To your brothers and sisters, round of applause to dear Dr. Kamal. It's such an honor to have you with us. I speak from behalf of the participants that they really appreciate this insights and these reflections and questions. And thank you for all of your reflections as well, dear brothers and sisters. We're very honored to have you all with us. It was very valuable. Dr. Kamal, would you like to
My
end with
my brother, just you said this is his first lecture in English. Actually, it is my first lecture in English. If I said or translated a word improperly, so I hope you and our participants will forgive this. I'm just a beginner, and I hope, inshallah, next lectures things will be more spontaneous and fluent and correct.
Your English is excellent. I would never notice that this was the first time. I said first time in ISIP, Dr. Kamal, because I know
Yeah,
you did
no, actually,
in
it is my
Arabic.
first time.
Was this the first
I
English
was,
lecture you done?
I came to the lecture and afraid that it won't go so smooth and fluent, but alhamdulillah, it's not
It was
bad. I think it's
Your
not.
English is amazing, and it was a really thoughtful presentation, and we need to continue to discuss, and people can share their reflections. We had some people who shared their reflections privately out of their respect for you as a presenter and for the topic. And brothers and sisters, let's continue discussing this question. This is the question of our generation. This is the question of the Ummah today. We have the Quran and Sunnah as our benchmark. And we live in a society where they're trying to break the, nucleus of the family, and we believe in sacred roles, sacred manhood and sacred womanhood. So a round of applause to Dr. Kamal. Thank you so much for being so generous.
You're
Would you
welcome.
forgive us for any shortcomings? Please forgive me for any shortcomings if I said anything wrong or did anything wrong. Please forgive me, Dr. Kamal. Please forgive me, brothers and sisters, if I said anything wrong, did anything wrong, communicated anything wrong. Rest assured that all the mistakes are solid in mine. And if anything good comes, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the mistakes are solid in mine. Thank you all for your great questions and reflections. Thank you all for your participation. And it was a very thought-provoking and important, and my English is not my native tongue, so I don't know if I'm using the right word, but very important topic and interesting perspectives from Dr. Kamal. Dr. Kamal, extend
Can I
to your
just
family.
one word?
Yes.
I I advise our participants and to read the file I sent. The lecture is written like an article, so they can again remember, and also they can read whatever I missed to say in the lecture.
Inshallah. So thank you so much, Dr. Kamal. We're very honored to have you with us, mashallah. As always, you're doing an amazing job. I want to thank Sister Nadira for always hosting in such an excellent way. Thank you all, dear excellent brothers and sisters, for your participation. Let's continue this discussion. We have a pandemic in our modern world. The pandemic is that our children are getting grown without proper masculine and feminine role models that are living according to the sacred tradition of Islam. We have an issue with families that are being disconnected And we need to reconnect with the Sunnah and learn and rectify ourselves, because all of us have shortcomings. I certainly have, and I'm sure you guys have as well. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings and allow us to see the prophetic examples of marriage, how the Prophet ﷺ engaged with Khadija radiallahu anha. That is an amazing, amazing, amazing thing to see. The roles they have, the respect they have, the complementarity that they have. Khadija radiallahu anha, the mothers of the believers, right, Dr. Kamal? She was a great entrepreneur, right? And she believed in the Prophet ﷺ, empowered him, supported him. She was the first to acknowledge him as the Prophet ﷺ. So, and she was a strong and yet sacred and compassionate woman. And then we have the Prophet ﷺ, who is the perfected person, perfected man, the man that we all look up to as both men and women. So be proud of you being a sacred man, dear brothers. Be proud of yourself being a sacred woman. Take care of each other. And remember, we are different than authoritarian. We believe in authority. The Prophet ﷺ has an authority through his sunnah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the authority as the creator. We are all wise khalifas on the earth, and authority is something beautiful. That is the whole concept of leadership, authority. But authoritarian, it's firaw, and that's something
they say, my brother, authoritative versus authoritarian.
Exactly, as Dr. Kamal said. This is important. So we believe in authority according to Quran and Sunnah, but we don't believe in authoritative or authoritarian way, because that is the Firawi way, which is not the way of the Prophet ﷺ. Dr. Kamal, extend our greetings to your daughter. She was here, to your family, and we look forward to work more with you and to learn from you. Thank you for always giving so much in the Arabic chapter of ISIP. We wish you the best. You're doing an amazing. Please forgive me for any shortcomings, Dr. Kamal. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my brother.
Take care of us.